This is the third and the last video I'm going to do on Mr. President from GMT Games. And the reason I'm doing this is it's not getting much traction. People aren't watching the videos and they're not very interested. And also I'm sort of I'm in and ahhing about this game, whether I actually like it. My big issue with it is it's very, very mechanical. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you've got to make decisions at each point. But there's lots and lots of decisions following one after the other, and they all lead on to various actions you can make, or loads of tables and sometimes flow charts that you have to go through. For example, I'm looking at Russia's activated at the moment, and you've got to go through all these phases for Russia to determine what they actually do. That takes a lot of time, and if you're not familiar with them, which I'm not, because I'm playing for this is the first year, so I'm not really familiar with it. It's getting a bit of a slog. Now, in terms of, let's try and get my thoughts together about this. In terms of what's actually happening at the moment, there's a lot of crises cropping up all over the world. So I'm not really doing much domestically. We've got because we started on a hybrid easy thing, we've got a fairly good domestic position anyway. So I've been really chasing my tail, trying to stop the situation in the world from spiraling out of control, which I've done. I've learned that you can use the UN to aid you in stuff like this, and you've got all your diplomatic and your military actions to help you out as well. So I've been very busy on the international stage, but I've not been very busy domestically. Cards that have come out, we had one domestic crisis, which is a bit annoying. But there's nothing catastrophic, and most of our tracks here are okay. The US economy is going good. Public approval's pretty good. We've not got many action points left, so I'm certainly going to run out of actions before we hit the end of the turn. Now, I think from here on I'm going to have to ration my actions. So that's going to make things difficult, because if these crises keep cropping up all the time, and you've not got much of an opportunity to respond to them. Things could easily spiral out of control. So other comments about the game is you get a lot in the game, and the components are really nice. And as I've mentioned, the manuals are absolutely superb, but they'd have to be superb. If they were less than superb, this game would become too difficult to manage. Some would say this would make a brilliant computer game, and it would. It would make a really good computer game. So, other things we've got coming in, we have got On to Richmond coming in tomorrow, which is Great Battles of the American Civil War, which I'm tempted to play the Peninsula campaign, so that might take over from this game. This is one of those ones where I think you can leave it on the table for a long period and just keep coming back and dabbling with it, because it's like it's not trying to be a simulation of the world. And if it was, I'd criticise certain things, like these conflict tracks. There's no way that Russia's status, relative strength at the start would be +1 to Russia NATO. That's ridiculous. NATO is an alliance of nearly 30 countries with a GDP which is what, 20 times bigger than Russia, maybe even more than that. It's like you're looking at an economic military titan compared to the Russian dwarf. Um, Other things, you've got the status of Israel. Well, Iran, let's say Israel, Iran. Yeah, I don't agree with any of these, really, from a historical point of view. I wouldn't rate the Democratic People's Republic of Korea as being militarily stronger than the Republic of Korea, because the Republic of Korea has got better equipment, far better equipment than the northern troops are. So I'd say if you were looking for an exact simulation, you're not going to find it on the conflict tracks. Whereas actually on the main board here, it does try and be a simulation to a degree. It does actually factor in civil wars that are going on at a certain time and wars that are going on at the start of 2020. So that's interesting. In terms of domestic simulation, I wouldn't have a clue. I don't really understand how the American political system works. And one thing, I haven't actually passed any legislation or attempted to pass any yet. I assume that comes up at a specific time on the board. Well, maybe I'm missing something. So as I say, I'm going to keep this up and going and just dabble with it. But I think I probably will switch to a more conventional board war game for the major part of the future videos. Okay then.